Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return for round 3 of the Formula 1 2024 season here for the Australian Grand Prix. Yes, we're back with another last question mark challenge. This time round I put it out to my YouTube channel members and my Patreon supporters to vote on who they would like to see this challenge driving, as the options were Oscar Piastri, Daniel Ricciardo or Charles Leclerc, and it was the McLaren man that won out on this occasion. Of course, if you would like to vote on these videos in the future, then you can click join for just £1 a month. It really does help me out and just allows you to have a little bit of a say on a few things and gives you some previews and upcoming ideas and series that we've got planned as well. When this video goes live, hopefully I will still be live over on Twitch or on Matt212 Racing. We are attempting the Sebring 12 hours this weekend as well, so hopefully that one is going to be exciting. So there'll be a link down in the description below if you want to go check that video out. In the background you can see the grid rundown ready for this one. Logan Sargent, of course, without a Formula 1 car this weekend, rather oddly, will join myself, Oscar Piastri, on the back row of the grid. But yeah, let me know where you think we're going to finish this one. Obviously there'll be a link as well to the mod in the description. But yeah, let's head trackside then here for the Australian Grand Prix. Well, here we are then trackside for the Australian Grand Prix. Apologies again that there was no, obviously, video doing this from Saudi Arabia. I was very, very unwell that weekend. But yeah, hopefully we're going to be able to return with more of these between now and the end of the season. And this time, yeah, racing as the homeboy, Oscar Piastri. And this is literally his hometown as well, if I remember correctly. I believe he was born and raised in Melbourne as well. Of course, Daniel Ricciardo based out on the coast in Perth. So yeah, 20 laps ahead of us today. We start this one in P20. We're going to go for the alternate strategy as well to hopefully allow ourselves to move up the order.
Here we go then, the formation lap gets underway and the excitement here is building as we near ever closer to the start of the race. Which team will come out on top? Who's got their strategies right for today's race? Well, we'll soon find out. As the cars make their way back to the starting grid to form up and get ready for lights out, let's hope the race ahead today is a thrilling one that will go down as a memorable Grand Prix in the history books.
The driver's physical stamina for the test, with the cars going 6.5 G at the peak of the apex. Albert Park has the distinction.
Here we go then, ready on the grid for the Australian Grand Prix, waiting on those 5 red lights. And it will be lights out and away we go there. Only ourselves, fellow Australian Daniel Ricciardo, who's had a terrible start, and pole sitter Max Verstappen, who have opted to start this one on the medium. So as we make our way in towards turn 1, not expecting to make too much progress through the first couple of corners there. Zhou Guanyu tries to slam the door on me as here comes Oscar Piastri in that Racing Bulls cars there, as I wanted to have a look down the inside of a couple of people. Zhou Guanyu telling me absolutely not. He'll go side by side with Nico Hülkenberg temporarily through the next couple of turns. But yeah, Verstappen, it's a risky call, of course. Only a short run down in towards turn 1 here, but I think the tyre wear is not going to be too high either. So the soft compound runners are surely going to be trying to use their advantage over the Dutchman at the start of this one. Of course, we're going to try and go to about half distance. And then obviously as the fuel wears off as well, we should have a bit of an advantage later on in the session. But as we make our way through the chicane on lap 1, pretty clean and tidy there. Zhou Guanyu again on the offensive on Nico Hülkenberg a little way up the road. Oh, I wanted to have a look down the inside of Logan Sargent, but of course, yeah, won't be keeping his car this weekend. Very difficult decision down at Williams, but I personally think they probably did make the right one. As yeah, Zhou Guanyu then has moved up the order quite nicely then, 18th up to 16th on this opening lap. As Sergio Perez then will actually lead the way. So Verstappen, I didn't think he dropped back off that start, but apparently he has. So Red Bull swapping from first and third to first and third, but the other way around.
Button a bit more.
Oh, down the inside of Logan then. Starting to get some temperature into the tyres, starting to build some confidence in the car. And we are up and into P18. Hopefully, if we can make one overtake a lap, we would win this thing. It's optimistic, but I want to believe. Then, what is the straight line speed looking like in this McLaren? It's pretty racy as we head down the back straight there to the outside of Nico Hülkenberg. Try and make it happen the long way around him, which we will there. Commit to the apex still. Oh, a little bit wide through the gravel on the exit. Somehow it didn't compromise all of my run, but Hulkenberg will be coming back at me, but not close enough. I must admit, a real fan of the way this McLaren car looks in this mod. I was normally, obviously, I did the Bahrain, challenge in cockpit camera, but I wanted to kind of showcase a bit more of the car as well as the cars around us. Let me know whether you want to see me go back to cockpit cam in the future. I do quite enjoy racing in cockpit camera as well, but I've got a few other little bits and pieces planned for a cockpit camera series. Okay, so that's a fun little feature as well that I've only ever noticed on this McLaren. But apparently when you open up the DRS, it actually shines up on the LED. I know obviously you've got the whole heads-up display above it as well, but look at that, yeah, the first purple LED flashes up. Never have I seen that in this game prior to now. Maybe it's just a McLaren thing? Have I never driven the McLaren on this game? Apparently not. Anyway, less staring at what's going on with the HUD. I need to try and make more moves in this Grand Prix. We've had a couple of laps of stagnation here, so we're going to try and get a run on the second Haas car of Kevin Magnussen. To the outside we'll go. Surely we're going to complete that move just like we did on Nico Hulkenberg a little bit earlier on. Keep it between the white lines on the exit, which we didn't manage against the Hulk in this GP. We've got a couple of cars battling up the road. That is Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon, as we're going to go for a big dive bomb on Valtteri Bottas. But as anyone that's watched Formula 1 before will know, it's Valtteri Bottas. He can pretty much get away with it there as well. I thought Albon was going to try and cover me off, as Ocon and Tsunoda still slowing each other down through these final couple of corners. Alpine seem to have taken a turn for the better this weekend, as Albon going left and right, Tsunoda and Ocon going defensive there. They're going to be 3 wide in towards the first corner. We've just got to sit back and watch. We'll get a run on Albon at the first corner. He might be able to get a run on Ocon as well there. So suddenly, we went from a couple of laps of making no places at all, and now in the space of a lap, hopefully, we're going to make it 4 overtakes there. That was very great. Well, that was just, yeah, fantastic to watch through the first corner. And somehow they all kept it clean and tidy. And then let's try and get a run past Yuki as well, and we'll just be outside of the points and in P11. That V-car, though, looking very, very racy in a straight line. Around the outside we'll go, and we'll just about pick it up. A little bit of a cheeky trim of the next apex, but, you know, you're not finding the limit if you're not pushing the limit. I'm pretty certain then the whole train that Gasly is the back of at the moment extends up to P4 in this GP. The Red Bulls and, well, I'm going to assume it's Charles Leclerc, but it might be Carlos Sainz have really broken free and left everyone else just to duke it out behind them. So, yeah, as we move on to the softs in a couple of laps' time, we're hopefully going to be quicker than all these guys. There's going to be a lot of overtakes that need to be made towards the end of this one if Piastri wants a good result at home. One of the Red Bulls in, a handful of other cars into the box. I was tempted to peel into the pit lane then, but it's a good job we didn't if Lando's in. So where's that Red Bull? I think the Red Bull's been held up. That's Sergio Perez. So Sergio Perez then has been really held up in the pit lane. However, I think Verstappen had already got the jump on him and Charlie Boy again. So yeah, I'm still assuming it's Charles Leclerc running up in a pretty uncontested P3. We're going to dive into the pit lane then at the end of this lap to try and get these tyres to the flag. Or we're going to have one of the scariest moments I think I've ever had around this circuit. That was almost game over, similar to what Alex Albon did last year. Right, well, minor scare dealt with. We are going to peel into the pit lane at the end of this lap. Have we got anyone else? Okay, so Verstappen trying to stay out there are going a little bit longer. Just about going to get our car slowed down where we need it to. And we'll even hold up a couple of others for good measure then, so that's useful. Hopefully we won't get held up. No, we won't. Okay, very, very good tidy pit stop for us. So I think we're going to still re-emerge in P11 then. Because I think, yeah, Leclerc, well, whichever is that lead Ferrari, has been slowed down quite a lot. But yeah, we're going to be one of the quickest cars on track towards the end of the afternoon. So we need to try and get in that DRS and start making moves. Oh, there we go, Daniel Ricciardo. I forgot about him. So we are therefore going to be into the points. Purple through the final sector as well, which is good. Looks like we got the jump on Lance Stroll, but unfortunately, he's now trying to use the DRS against me there as Gasly and George Russell battling up in front. This will bring us closer then. Oh, Russell again to the outside of Pierre. These two going side by side seemingly everywhere around this track, and it's helping me out. They've been completely detached from the group in front, so I'm hoping we get round to both pretty quickly. But Russell making another move happen as Alpine finally are back towards where you would expect them to be in the Formula 1 World Championship. As Alonso sets a 21.1, new fastest lap of the day. We are going to set 21.3, so Fernando Alonso, that DRS still proving pretty pivotal this afternoon. Oh, we're going to be all over the back of Gasly and George, though, as we make our way out into the back straight. Oh, a little bit of a wobble on the way in, but yep, trying to get round the car that Oscar Piastri might well have been driving. Okay, Pierre Gasly's going to try and kill me. Apparently, he's been taking lessons from Nicolas Solov in FIA Formula 3 there, as we get a huge run around the outside of Pierre. Get the nose tipped in. Surely we can get past Russell as well. This McLaren is an absolute missile in a straight line there, as around the outside we'll go. And we are up into P8. 4 seconds to Lando next up. Oh, a little mistake there through the final couple of corners. George Russell is still trying to hound me for this P8. I think we just haven't quite got enough pace in the car. Unless Alonso, Hamilton and Norris all start battling more.
3.5 seconds.
Speaking of battling more, Russell and Gasly side by side back through turn 1. That might give us a little bit of breathing room from the two drivers behind me. Yeah, everyone seems to be locked into battles, and we just have not got the pace. I really struggle around Albert Park for some reason. Oh, here comes George. He's going to have the DRS on me. Surely he's going to try and have a look to the outside. We've got no battery either to really defend ourselves with. Nope, the Merc. AI seem really reluctant to go too wide through this chicane. I mean, I can't blame him. It's not going to help me either. Russell will say thank you very much. We'll squeeze by and back up into P8 then. But yeah, I think unless those guys in front continue to battle, I don't see a way in which we get close. Oh, there we go. I can see him battling again up there. I'm going to try and use George Russell in these final 4 laps to bring me a bit closer to them. You can see that gap now is already under 3 seconds. But yeah, I think these soft tyres have just absolutely burnt out way earlier than we thought they would. Well, it looks like all eyes now are on the battle between Lando and Fernando. Lewis Hamilton seems to maybe be breaking away.
Well done.
Gasly, I think, yeah, is just trying to hang on even more than I am at the moment. You can see how much we're trying to commit through that first corner there. There goes Fernando Alonso again to the outside of our teammate. So we're watching this, hoping Lando can hang on, but also hoping that we can get involved there, as we're really, really slow through some of these corners. But they are going even slower by going side by side. Will George Russell now potentially have an opportunity as we make our way out onto the back straight there? All of us pushing. There is a lot of points at stake here between a lot of separate Mercedes-powered cars. Hamilton's broken free. He's gone. So this is now a battle, I believe, only for P6. Where will we come out in all of it then, as Lando Norris, Fernando Alonso follows him back through that chicane once more. We are struggling with tyre wear so much through there now. The car feels really, really heavy. As Lando Norris again will get the elbows out. Has to give Fernando Alonso room. Oh, we wanted to have a look down the inside of George, but he says no thank you. And this is getting very, very dramatic towards the end of the Australian GP. 2 laps to go here. We've done a pretty good recovery drive up to this point. Oscar Piastri, best result, of course, IRL this year has been that 4th place in Jeddah, as Russell practically pushing Lando Norris along in towards that first corner. But I just don't really know. Apart from down the straights, which, I mean, there are a lot of, we are really, really struggling, actually, to hang on with the AI through the corners, as this time around, Lando to the outside of Fernando. We couldn't have made this more complicated with the names, could we? And you can see the Aston Martin again will just about hang on in front. George Russell, though, he's sensing an opportunity here, and I'm wondering whether we can try and get around all of them, perhaps. Oh, a big moment as we try and get out onto the back straight. We'll try and use a bit of battery here, see what kind of run we can get. Actually, quite a big, decent one then, as here we go around the outside of not 1, not 2, but 3 cars. Where on earth did that straight line speed come from?
2.7 seconds.
I have never seen anything like that.
Slowing down. It seems like there's some kind of problem with their car.
Well, Russell then with mechanical problems late on in the day but I have never seen straight line speed like that inside F123. Never mind the amount of advantage we had over all those other drivers, and a triple overtake. We will move up into P6 then with 1 lap to go of the Australian Grand Prix, but we are not home and dry just yet. We've still got Fernando Alonso breathing down my chest here. We've got a little bit of battery still to spare that we can try and use to keep him at bay. As we went purple through that middle sector, that was the amount of speed we carried through down that straight, because it's pretty much just one corner and then the straight there, as Fernando Alonso again looking to the outside. But now the role has shifted from trying to be the aggressor to just trying to cover off these other cars behind. We've got a huge train that extends, I believe, all the way down to probably Lance Stroll in P11 here, but we're going to have to save the battery, ready for these 2 back straights at the front of the field. Though, look at the gap Verstappen's built up. That's pretty realistic, isn't it? F124 mod, pretty accurate in that regard. But we're going to have to go defensive from Fernando Alonso as we make our way towards the end of this back straight. Again, the AI seem a bit reluctant there. They'd rather wait for the run off the corner, but luckily that means we can try and maximise our own run off the exit of the corner. Here goes Fernando Alonso to the outside, though, in towards the final few corners. We'll try and hang the nose there. He wanted to turn in, but we're not going to let it happen. Max Verstappen will win the Australian Grand Prix, and we were stuck behind Alonso in the last challenge we did like this back in Bahrain. This time around, we're going to finish ahead of him as we make our way through the final corner, get on the power, use the battery up towards the line. From the back of the grid, it is P6 here in Albert Park.
Victory for the team from Milton Keynes then, after a quality performance. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
Quite simply, a driver is nothing without the team behind them. So, a deserved winner, but we do have to give a shout out to the team in the pit lane and back at the factory. Very much a collaborative process.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Australian Grand Prix there, and Max Verstappen only took the victory by 14 seconds. So yeah, clearly the game has gone soft on everyone else this weekend there. Charles Leclerc, Carlos Sainz make it a Ferrari 3-4, once again pulling points out on their rivals. But we come through from 20th on the grid to 6th place at the end of the day there, and the fastest lap bonus point. I don't think we can complain about that one. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and yeah, we'll return very, very soon with more F1 content.